Greetings everyone, please go on and make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's booting on up. Need to turn on the live chat windows. That's all good to go. So, actually, one thing I need to do is open up a drink and then we can get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web or Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the south side as a Dark Gray the Beast, we got YouTuber. YouTuber. I have no idea how to pronounce that. QB Tuber. I have no idea. So on the north side as the Red Will, we got Jean Bant 13. So let's go ahead and not get started, but talk about the COs. Will's course unchanged for the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost to radius 30-60-60. All units get additional +10/+10, direct units get additional +20% offense, and all units get +10/+10, +20% offense, and +2 movement. The Beast was, of course, technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars, standard boarding cost 3 radius 30-60-60. All units get additional +10/+10, all specialty units, which are infantry, mechs, bikes, recons, and flares, get additional 20% offense, and having any of them end their turn in the CO zone will seal that your opponent's income for next turn. He has both power and superpower, but choose one situation. Both cost 60 energy, which provides a +10/+10, 20% offense, +2 movement, vision, and see through hiding places, and of course make the rating thing global rather than CO zone. Or the much more fun superpower version, +10/+10, 20% offense, and all specialty units steal the next 3 turns of all properties, both your own, neutral, and your opponent's. And in short, it makes it so you don't lose any income by ending your turn on your own properties, you just get to pay forward, which is very nice. So let's go and get started. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, strong steady weak sun mechanic. There's a comm tower near the HQ, but if you lose the comm tower, you probably already lost the HQ. Both players just have, of course, 2,000 income, which means double infantry until the future. Will has 4,000 funds this turn, so you can go for bike infantry. Bike infantry. The Beast has 6,000 income and 3 bases, so you could go for bike double infantry, looks like, and keeps himself 500 monies in the bag. Howdy. I would normally play Beast this map, but the more I play him here, the more I realize Will's just better here. Got it. Recon double infantry. And likely the recon's going to be CO'd. Well, just like to be CO'd. I don't know where I was going with that statement. Tank bike and commits a base skip. Yeah, Will's overall just generally a good CO in most maps, it seems like. The Beast has actually a good number of properties for him to do some raiding. And plus, supporting infantries are always a very powerful effect for a CO, which can help them just general engagements, whether they go from mechs, infantry, or bikes. And of course, any fog of wartime, flare is always nice to have as well. Will has kept his comm tower. The Beast is catching up his. Beast has 13,000 funds next turn, so you can go for Battlecopter triple infantry as a possibility. No, that math ain't mathin'. Maybe Battlecopter and double infantry. Will has 14,000 next turn with 0 in the bank. Tank double bike, keeping 1,000 in the bank. So we have 16,000 next turn. Of course, Will's CO tank has in a very good position there. No threat to it, whether it be hard counter or soft counter. Tank, mech, and bike. Does get trapped there. It's nice simple 10 energy, tank and bike and coming on up. Doesn't see the tank there, of course, it's inside a forest. This infantry unit here could be spotted next turn if this infantry pushes forward and spots looks inside the city. It looks like no shots for Will's command tank. We do have, looks like a human mechapede being established here. Anti-air, anti-air. You probably could skip the anti-air on this side, but the Battlecopter has been deployed on out. Maybe better just go for a Battlecopter on this side. Bike does get trapped. Anti-air, tank, and bike. Howdy. And does finish with the bike there, getting nice simple 10 energy as well, so both players at 10 energy. Anti-air will be pushed its way forward. The Battlecopter is not in range. Ah, good anti-infantry tool. That's not a bad idea. Usually I think of anti-air, I think of Battlecopter. So then again, I'm also the one who says Grass should be loaded up in anti-air to get power charge. Bit of hypocrisy on my part. He does have the anti-air scouted, so it's a good idea not to charge the Battlecopter into his death with not getting much work done. So that could lure this tank into the range of the Battlecopter. Goes for another tank, artillery, bike, and Battlecopter. Right now the Beast has 26,000 income versus 22,000. We got 23,000 now, but 24,000 there. Interrupts the capture, stops the capture. Blows up to 20 energy. Battlecopter, tank, bike, and human mechapede. The Beast does take a shot there, takes out the infantry unit there. Tank spots tank. The Beast up to 30 energies. The Recon's a little bit exposed, no longer a little bit exposed. Does raid the comm tower for all of its monies. All 1,000s of it. Battlecopter are going to be hunting down this tank. He knows about the anti-air existing. He may know it's existing in that forest. Battlecopter, mech, bike, and medium tank. Good shot there. Interrupts the capture, which is quite important. Goes at 36 energy, the Beast at 38. He possibly could pull out a superpower next turn. And will probably best go for the +2 movement range and see through hiding spaces. As much as I want to say, do the fun power of raid. I think the extra +2 movement range is going to be very important for all the specialty units at the moment. Gets out that tank there. Spots the anti-air a little bit too late. Gets a bit of raiding. Does get trapped there. Does not finish off the bike there. Continue capturing the column tower. You have to use the artillery to probably get interrupted. No, there's a path through the HQ. And the beast is not going to get a superpower deployed this turn. Has 52 energy. Medium tank. Bike, recon, and battlecopter. And looks like the artillery does not strike the tank. Mac does get a good shot there. Sacks a whole bunch of units there. Gets enough superpower to get his superpower. This tank, however, has taken a bit of a beating. 8% health remaining. Right now, the beast does have more funding on the field by a small margin. Tank, battlecopter, mech, and bike. And there's the superpower. Does deploy the raiding superpower. Triple 1 property. 2 properties. 3. I thought I heard him wait somewhere. 4. There's also 5 there. And that's at 41,000. Bomber, medium tank, tank, and infantry. Next couple turns, you have 24,000. We'll see he'll end up quite a bit of his turns on his opponent's property, which is very nice. And here comes Will's superpower. Has good hits there. Does put some rounds in the anti-air. Hits the recon, hits the infantry, or bike. Does lose the coin flip there. Takes out the recon there. Takes out the bike there. Takes out the bike there. Tank hits tank. Anti-air hits infantry. They have a clean sweep on the right side. However, there's a full bomber and only 1 anti-air. The battlecopter could push forward, take a shot there, leave it vulnerable to the anti-air so the bomber can nuke it the turn following. The gunboat has been sunk to the bottom of the HQ. And a good amount of power charge there. And looks he does push the battlecopter forward. And like I said, he can always trade the battlecopter to nuke the anti-air to allow the bomber free range of the region. You have another anti-air back here. Artillery, battlecopter, bike, and tank. It's 144 versus 112, so the beast has about a full turn advantage. Does find the artillery. Does get the anti-air, but that's not a max out efficiency anti-air on top of a city. With the effects of the CO zone, trying to capture the HQ. Right now the anti-air does have plus 55% defense in total. Interrupts the capture, stops the HQ from being captured. Medium tank does strike the anti-air first. Anti-air parks on top of the HQ and does bomb the tank. So if he does lose his CO recon unit next turn, he can always re-CO the bomber. Battlecopter, infantry, flare, and tank. Does suck the anti-air, which does get a good amount of damage on that bomber. Medium tank does get hit quite a bit. Feels like Will's making a lot of good engagements. Does hit the medium tank there. Does get trapped on that tank. Oof. That's not good. Maybe he was going to try to charge forward and hit the artillery. Battlecopter, tank, commit space skip and anti-air. Shells that tank that got trapped. Good shot there. Does take out that unit there. Takes out the tank. It's the mech, battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, and tank. Takes out the battlecopter, gets the superpower, deployed, hits the tank, hits the anti-air. Mech sprints towards the bike, tank does finish off the anti-air. Spots the CO recon, but it's not going to go down this turn. In fact, he may get a superpower deployed out next turn. The beast does have more value in the field, 85,000 versus 109. And pops the power, so he gets some increased vision range and movement. Does not see the anti-air, so that bomber will likely be shot down next turn. Goes straight for the city there, trying to capture the HQ. The mech is in range to intercept that bike unit there. He may be able to sack the 3-off infantry to get at least 1 point of damage onto it. Does spot that anti-air there, slowly picking it down. Excuse me. Tank, bike, and battlecopter. That HQ unit's still there. Okay. Does interrupt the capture of the HQ. Okay, so the bomber there. Where it fired, try and joint capture again. Does not take out that anti-air. Going some medium tanks together. Takes out the regular tank there. Tank, battlecopter, bike, and tank. Does not take out the capturing squad there. Has 6 capture progress remaining. However, there's no bikes nearby to merge onto it. Tank, anti-air, tank. Beam tank does get a good shot there. Does not finish off. Does not finish it off. Artillery's down to 4% health. Tank, bike, anti-tank. Hits the bike there, hits the anti-air. 1 health artillery goes down. The mean tank can take quite a bit. Tank, and mech. Hits the tank there. Trying to capture HQ once again. Anything's nearby to interrupt it. Bomber, mech, bike, and bike. The anti-airs over here have taken a bit of damage. We do have a full health anti-air in reserve. Does take out the medium tank. Their tank goes down. Artillery in range of the HQ. Interrupts the capture there. Takes out that wounded anti-air. Does not stop the capture, but will require the joint capture from that nearby 7 health infantry. Tank does go down there. Anti-air does strike the battlecopter twice. The artillery can finish off 1 anti-air, or the medium tank can finish off another, but probably the medium tank will hit a tank. Going to captures. Does take out that unit there. Marches around with that infantry there. 7 capture progress remaining. Tank goes down. Anti-air strikes infantry. Gets knocked out. Does find the artillery. Strikes the medium tank. Strikes the artillery. Has not seen the bomber just yet. Strikes the medium tank. Bomber will likely strike this medium tank over here. Anti-air actually would be in range if he goes right there, but if he gets on top of the comm tower, he'll be out of range. Let's see where he goes. Oh, goes over to the left. There's a tank there. Trying to capture the HQ once again. Right now the beast has 111,000 versus 124, 19 units versus 21. Beast has like 27,000 income versus 23,000. It looks like Will is trying to capture up that HQ. Does have an anti-tank in range. Bomber provides some good fire support as well. The anti-tank will likely need to strike that mech, and the bomber could just charge forward, but will be in range of the anti-air. Does interrupt the capture. Hits the bike there. Bomber hits the medium tank. You have a rocket field, hits the regular tank. Might be a little bit for the beast, yeah. It can be a great way to flush out your opponent, force them to come to you. Tank, anti-air, and anti-tank. But the anti-tank right now is a little bit too slow when his opponent is trying to capture HQ. He needs to go for regular tanks or battlecopters. Hits the bomber for severe amount of damage, trying to continue to capture the HQ. Pops the superpower. There's a good hits there on the left side. Medium tank bike, medium tank. And mech does go down. Bike, tank, and battlecopter. Does hit the tank there. Anti-air will probably could go for the battlecopter rather than trying to go for the bomber. No units nearby to capture up the beast's HQ. Beast right now is at 92 versus 129. It's about, what, 2 turns behind? Does find the anti-tank. Does shell the anti-tank. Mech, battlecopter, bike, and tank. Duster, tank, bike, and tank. Takes out the anti-tank there, in range of a rocket. HQ now being captured. Pulls back some units there, but I'm pretty sure the HQ will be captured next turn. He has full surround on it, out of range of the rocket. The rocket may have been just too slow in general, as well as like an anti-tank, so probably should have just gone for more tanks and battlecopters. Bike, medium tank, regular tank. Strikes the regular tank there, takes out a regular tank there. Bomber strikes and resigns. As Aaron Gray saying, keep watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. If there's a good replay and you want me to cast, just let me know. My apologies, I'm back. Buff the beast. I always feel like the beast is pretty good. Let's see now. Maybe one way to bust a beast is like, oh, he can also, in global, he's allowed to use recons to capture. Maybe up armor them for a price increase as well. I'm not sure. Just ideas. Always maybe allow rigs able to capture. Maybe remove flares able to capture and do all those buffs I said to the recon. Stronger, able to capture. What am I thinking? Just ideas though. Or make the rating thing global. I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on bottom left side as the magenta penny. We got red 1521. And he's non-red. You monster. On top right side as the turquoise Lee. We got blue leader. Turquoise is more of a green rather than blue, isn't it? That's also incorrect. Red, we got red versus blue, but neither is correct. Either way, let's go ahead and cover the COs. Of course, Lee is a custom CO using a skin from the Valkyria Chronicles, a 3D model into 2D PNG. Boarding cost 50%, 3 rated, 30, 60, 60. I wonder, should I ever play some Valkyria Chronicles? And do it on stream. Granted, only 1 and 4 available on Steam. For his day-to-day benefits, all units get +10/+10 and plus movement range at the start of the turn within the CO zone. And of course, superpower, you get a nice simple +2, so he basically becomes Adder. He is effectively Adder. Penny, of course, has been buffed from the Cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 3 units, 3660. All units are unaffected by weather, all units get +15, +10. And of course, you can make it random weather for 3 turns. So let's go and get started. He is super weak against AA. A buff to him would either be adding transport to his kits, or add +5 defense so he's so his foot soldiers don't one-shot by AAs. He's already uses air in a lot units, a lot AA hurts. Buff give a unique recon that acts as a light AT to help counter AAs, but that's a little bit too much then. Hot pink? I suppose it is hot pink. I can never tell magenta and hot pink apart. I would say it's because I get it from my dad, but colorblind traits go on the or on the X chromosome. So, and my dad is red-green colorblind, but the problem is, since I'm his son, I have a Y chromosome from him. And maybe an extra or half chromosome somewhere. I think the extra tails will give the clue by that. What do you mean having extra chromosomes is a bad thing? Though interestingly enough, when it comes to chromosome and foxes, apparently regular foxes have similar chromosomes to dogs and wolves, but the red fox, the common fox, actually has half chromosomes because apparently it appears that their chromosomes is not uncommon to get fused together. In this case, they got fused directly in half. And it's also one reason why if a red fox breeds with an Arctic fox, you get a silver fox, which is actually a sterile fox, because it has mismatched chromosomes, which actually does exist in a lot of animals, particularly fish, where animals with different chromosomes can breed with each other, but it results in some sort of sterile offspring. Flares does decent damage to AA, but only if it gets the first strike. If I remember correctly, the flare AA damage is actually the same as the tank machine gun. The problem is you never notice the tank's machine gun fighting against units because of the fact that it has a gun or cannon. Honestly, if I ever design a, let's just say Days Ruin 2, one thing I would change, or as an aspect, since one thing that sort of got removed from Advanced Wars, from like Dual Strike, all previous games, to Days of Ruin, is day-to-day benefits. One thing is like people like, oh, let's create some new units. What happens if there's a theme where your CO can have a base slate of units, like the standard slate of units, but certain COs have alternate slates of units, like variations, like say a motorized tank, for example, less armor, more mobility, tile movement type. Just an idea, like people ask, oh, how would you insert a new unit? One thing is just make an alternative slate of units. Like, for example, let's just say the Brennan's Wolves get the Rubenellian forces get like more mechanized units. Lazarin forces, whatever it's called, has more infantry forces, maybe some cheap helicopters. And let's just say IDS get high-tech motorized units. Huh. Glad to say I'm not the only one who thought about that. I would also say more tile sets. Like, I would like the fact that the Tiny Wars had like mist or fog, or what was it called? Mist on plains, mist on sea, things that sort. And maybe also weird, unique things where like also help improve ship balances, where some ships can actually go up rivers. Maybe there's tile sets for double stack or triple stack rivers, things that sort, where light ships can go up rivers and shores, while there's of course the blue, like I call brown water ships and blue water ships, because it's actually a term where river patrols versus deep sea fish ships. Just general ideas, like for example, the term gunboat has no gun, so an actual gunboat, like a monitor, had like 2-tower range, like a mini battleship, but not super powerful, things that sort. My idea was that each CO had a specialty unit that only can be deployed, like Mario Kart. That would be quite a large number of specialty units. And if there's a larger cast COs, that may be difficult. That's why I think army-based, like origin-based slate of units would be interesting. In which let's just say the big bad, whoever would be called, or 2.0, would have a whole unique slate of units, for example. Just ideas. While the players can choose the unique slate for each faction, or can pick the default set, which is reliable. Remember, Commander Wars have many COs getting their own signature unit? I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm just saying that it may. For example, let's just take a look at the cast of Dual Strike. That is a massive cast CO, so having a whole bunch of unique signature units may not really be feasible to be distinct from each other. Either way, I've not been paying attention to the game. Let's just focus on the game. Penny heads down here, has a recon. Lee's up here on the infantry unit, that's pretty much standard. Yeah, I have not been paying attention to the game whatsoever, my bad. Recon does get a bit of damage there. Penny's up 22 energy versus 15 energy. Comm Tower is not captured yet up here, but nothing going to contest it, say at least. This area is a little bit contestation, but it's going in favor of Penny. Battlecopter tanks push down south. Anti-airs. I don't see any anti-airs for Penny. Looks like our anti-airs way over here, with Battlecopter here. It's a good map, that's for sure. A lot of properties with a lot of income. Ships can provide some more limited support. Though, like I said, limited, but still quite usable, particularly aircraft carriers and battleships. Recon, bike, mech, and battlecopter. We do have a rig on the field to help rig the game. Penny's at 31 energy, and there's plenty of targets in front of her. It's a target-rich environment. I love that term. Learned it from Starship Troopers, Terran Command, which may have been from a Starship Troopers movie, but I actually never watched any of them. Bike, tank, infantry, and battlecopter. 126,116, so Pains has a small advantage, about half turn advantage. That's the recon here. An infantry type unit, with indirect range of 2? So basically a mortar. For some reason I thought Jugger, to me, Jugger would sound like he would have some sort of battle droid, which would be like 2 movement for half the price. Infantry unit, maybe with less damage. Dirt cheap infantry unit. This has 4 capture progress remaining to be captured on up. This one will be captured up next turn as well. Don't know when this properties will be captured. My mouse is double clicking because I need to get a new mouse, and I've been just lazy about it. I need to get a new headset as well. Probably a new microphone. I just need some new set of peripherals. Medium tank, and bike. Join capture, full health captures. Gunboat heads down south. Thematically, I don't think sniper would be great because of the fact that everything has a gun. But I can see mortars if you want a ranged infantry unit that could potentially park itself on mountains. I think mortars would probably be the best way to describe a ranged infantry unit. I just think of super units from other games like Kane's Wrath. Lee's command infantry unit does go down. He could perhaps seal the medium tank, which would make it very agile. Huh, I don't think I've ever seen Lee load up into a medium tank before. That could be very useful, to say the least. At that point in time, the Abrams model would actually be an Abrams. It's also always hard to tell. Sometimes these sprites can look like one tank, but also we look another thing. Because this does look a mix, could be viewed as an Abrams tank, or could be viewed as a T9 or a Type 90 or Type 10 from the Japanese. Recon does get a shot there. He did in fact seal that medium tank. Hits the recon, hits the infantry. Takes out that unit there. Bike does go down. For the first time I would say medium tank could have a good, because it's Lee breaks the game. I mean, now you got a medium tank that moves as quickly as a regular tank. Very handy into your tank and recon. Tank does hit tank. A couple of properties up here being captured. Tank, anti-air, bike, and battlecopter. Battlecopter does get struck. Trying to flip that city could just be a bit of bait. Though this city is currently occupied by the infantry units, so the artillery can advance and just use as a artillery base. Like his bike. There's a reason Izangi played that fast and got to rank 1 on the ladder. Got it. Lee on the surface, a lot of the stuff, it feels like it looks super powerful, but I've never really seen super powerful in replays. But then again, I haven't really cast that player too much because probably most of his replays don't really reach above the 20 turn mark now, do they? Mech Duster, tank and mech. Takes out the mech there. Penny's at 17 energy. She's not been able to summon a storm there. Does get trapped in the rig. Penny's getting a lot of power charge. Mr. Bear must be pleased. That's a lot of good power charge. She went from what, 0 to 58 this turn? So next turn she may be able to pull out superpower. While she is loading the medium tank, the medium tank's not critical in this part of the map at the moment, so having her, say, move up north and spoil out some weather would be a good idea. Make your predictions. What do you think our first set of weather would be? I'm guessing it's going to be rain. Tank, mech, and battlecopter. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Leads to 44 energy. Leads up to 58 energy. The chance of getting superpower next turn is very likely, and +2 movement range global would be very nice. Bending on sand. I do hate sand. And I know the meme, and nobody tells me how the meme is wrong. Lee is super strong. Picture this: Fog of War, right infantry moves forest house, which means they can spot hidden terrain easier. That could be very nice. They can reach cities on forest guards, which makes them capture better. Yep. I guess the early capture game is always critical. Oh, got a battleship. And both players have the superpower available. Ah, I do guess did cast correctly. Rain. Which is probably the least useful in Fog of War games, because you already have planned Fog of War, though right now Lee does not have any gunboats. 3 CO zone. Read a little bit onto the Discord, where I think some people are saying 3 range CO zones are a little bit on the too powerful side. So if Lee is too powerful, may reduce in the CO zone, or maybe remove the +10/+10. Superpower is now activated, which means +2 move range global in Fog of War rain, but that could allow him to get some nice drive-by spottings. Able to slowly spot units one at a time, very nice. A clean sweep over here against Penny. Oh, I am generally incorrect all the time, so I would make for a decent weatherman. Though, it's always funny how at times I said to my dad, like, it's gonna rain soon, it seems awfully humid outside. Apparently I'm one of the few people who actually somewhat read humidity a bit better than most people. Like, I thought it was going to rain at Death Valley due to how high the humidity is, and my parents didn't believe it was humid, and I was correct, it did rain. I predicted rain in Death Valley, it was correct. Getting some good hits there. Penny's got 30 energy already, so she's going to clean up this area, getting a good amount of power charge. One anti-air and one duster in the region, so battlecopters will be nice, but we'll have a bit of trouble. Bike, tank, and battlecopter. Oh, drops the mech back at home. Guess probably just want to try to avoid donating power charge and of course avoid deleting the unit whenever you can. Battleship will of course provide some good fire support in this region, but of course with the rain it'll have trouble targeting. Shu says that the game has too much 3 zones, which means a lot of Brenner clones. I don't know the tally. I know a handful of COs did get a buff for increasing CO zone. It does, 3 CO zone does make it pretty reliable getting CO powers, that's for sure. Things pushing over here. Got a number of units, 45. Some odd reason, it's sort of weird to me how there's actually no big group of units on both sides in the center of the map so far. Lee is starting to migrate down south for the winter, or lack of winter. Bike. Wait, that's a mainly deployed lander this turn, isn't it? Or wait, no. What was already there? My mind's melted right now. Of course, it's the last turn for rain, does shoot down the battlecopter. The other battlecopter is out of vision range. The battlecopter has been spotted and shot down. Generally for 3 CO zone size, generally they just need to make sure that it's relatively weak day to day. Maybe a weaker power and superpower. Or a very niche of what it can affect. More rain! Rain, go away! Rain's probably one of the worst weathers to be outside in. Though to be fair, in this game it's either blizzard, not necessarily snow, but blizzard, and sand. Maybe the sandstorms are probably the worst to be outside. Would you rather be outside in freezing snow or in a sandstorm? Depends on proper protection. If you wear heavy enough clothing, snow will eventually start chilling you down. But if you're in the sandstorm, if you're not fully covered up, if you're fully covered, it still won't be great and be uncomfortable. I don't know. My old man, when he was heading home he was stationed at a base in Kansas. He was heading home, driving home to Kentucky. It was in a blizzard. He drove with a blizzard all the way home to Kentucky, and he had his oil frozen while driving in Santa, Indiana. does get a good shot there on the Duster. Battleships in the region at Vector 1, 3 ammo remaining. The rig can help resupply it without going back to harbor. Bomber. Tank, bike. Anyway, in the turn of 192 versus 229, so she's about over a turn behind. She does have a nice little core of tanks over here. Medium tanks are in range. There's a good shot there. There's actually a CO tank there. Is actually down to 12 fuel. Strikes the anti-air, very nice. Can still finish off the dust surface, sticks around. Three health anti-air can shoot down the 2 health Duster. And he's up to 22 energy right now. Battlecopter, tank, mech, and tank. Battlecopter gets a good shot there. Hits both the medium tanks. Does not finish off that medium tank. Down to 8% health. Some good shots there. Takes out that tank. Has not been able to pull out any proper counter to the battleship. That's maybe what the bomber is meant for. Medium tank and regular tank are ready to get inside the lander. Anti-air bikes. Bomber is here. It's not spotted at the moment, but will probably reveal itself this turn by striking this tank. Right, flip the comm tower. This comm tower may be flipped as well. Yep, Penny's losing everything up north. And now it's 154 versus 127, so she's falling pretty far behind. Gunboat spots a bit of everything. And he's at 32 energy, playing targets in front of her to get a superpower going. But not really a good idea to advance with a bomber nearby. And looks like Penny does resign there. Zan great saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see. Greetings everyone, and great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on the south side as Red Force it, we got Coal. I wonder if this Coal is also the Coal Train who runs a whole grain. Sorry, that saying is completely burned in my mind. So on the north side as the Green Hawk, we have Siler SK in his standard color and his standard CO. Either way, when it comes to these COs, Hawk was of course a custom CO in Tiny Wars, standard boarding cost 2 radius, as a third expansion of 30, 70, 120, with a maximum energy of 120. Has a day-to-day of plus 20 plus 10 for all units. Of course, at 50 energy you get Black Wave, and only at 100 energy we do have the Black Storm effect. For Sith is of course unchanged from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 5 radius, 0 expansion, 0 maximum energy, and only has a day-to-day of a simple plus 20 for all units. So let's go and get started. No fog war on this map. Both players do start with 2 temporary airports, but there's nothing more temporary than something, nothing more permanent than something temporary. I think it's a little bit too early for a draw, right? He decides to climb the draw. Well, I did select a replay with an adequate length. I was not expecting a draw or a quest to draw this early. I guess maybe he's like, I don't want to do this game. Can we just draw out? He doesn't want to lose either. More bikes. Looks like Hawk is saving up some money, has 6,000 funds at the moment. Double infantry, he's not on the bike, so next turn he have 10,000 funds, so maybe one for a tank. His next turn, yeah, he can afford tank, bike, tank, infantry for 3 bases. So that's what my guess is. He may deploy a tank right here and start driving it down south of the winter. Okay, he goes tank on this base here. Maybe went for this tank here, so his opponent can't as easily counter it. He goes to tank in the same spot. Maybe this base is ever so slightly forward and I just can't really gauge that all too well. I mean, you got a forest here and a wasteland here, so it feels like similar movement penalties. Plus, got another wasteland and forest there. I don't know why, but with this the desert color scheme, it feels like this red's a bit more almost brownish. It's some weird trick on my eyes. Like, it feels less red, the units. I don't know if that's just a me thing. Tank, infantry, and infantry. We do have now Battlecopter this turn. It does take 2 shots from the CO zone, very nice. Doesn't really matter what force it gets loaded up into. Disposable fine, valuable is fine. Disposable is probably a bit more preferred. Hawk right now does have 13 energy. To push before this tank to hit this tank is probably a bad idea. 1, it has 3 defense stars. 2, there's a reserve tank here, and the CO zone. Pulling back to his own city is not a bad idea. We do have a couple more tanks in the field. He has no anti-air in the field. He knows this one's gone for Battlecopter. Maybe he didn't see the Battlecopter, wasn't paying close enough attention. Anti-air artillery infantry. He does go for anti-air. He doesn't really need an anti-air at the moment since this one doesn't have any Battlecopters in the field. Howdy. Fox has 19,000 funds. Goes for Battlecopter. Anti-air and infantry. Takes off another infantry unit there for a small consolation prize. Battlecopter's out of range. Battlecopter can always move to the temporary airport. Another Battlecopter, bike, tank, and infantry. Right now we've got 22,000 to 21,000, so pretty even in that aspect. Pulls back some units there. Battlecopter only moves slightly forward. As he's able to provide enough coverage to keep that Battlecopter at bay. Anti-air infantry. This, of course, was a joint capture. Takes a shot there, but will not interrupt the capture. Alright, no fireman delay, just gonna watch, but good to know I can interact. Yep. You can interact with the E button. Whoever use the F button as interact is completely heretical. You can also try Imagine This is Dora the Explorer and shout at your screen to interact as well. I'm not sure how effective that is. I don't have Xbox Connect. Or an Xbox. Infantry, 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 and battlecopter. Both battlecopters went over here. Anti-air's in the center. Battlecopters in the center as well. You have a duster, which will keep good company to this map since it's very dusty, it seems like. Battlecopter, medium tank infantry, and commits a base skip. Oh, that's a battleship. Of course, you would need to plow some temporary seaports in order to get the battleship even farther into your opponent's side of the map. This tile, excuse me, is a bridge on sea rather than bridge on shore, so this is traversable battleships. Takes a shot against the artillery. That was not a good expected battleship, but right now would provide some good coverage. Battlecopters ruffling over here. Some good shots. I think you're talking about the temporary seaports. Yep. I'm always surprised. I love Daisy Run adding temporary seaports and temporary airports. It makes just such a... First off, map makers can do a lot of good things with them. So it would actually allow you to repair and refuel stuff at the front line. You now have a full fighter on the field, as was rigged to help rig the game. Infantry units taking some shots against that battlecopter. Gets a good shot there, up to 19 energy. And double infantry to boot. So you may be going to eye for temporary seaport where this anti-air is at. But you clearly don't need temporary airports, so you start off two. Bombers for forward, got medium tank, tank, and tank. Let's see. The bomber, of course, can be easily shot down by the fighter. Duster can somewhat fight the fighter, but not great. Is this anti-air in range of the Duster? No, it's not. The wastelands and the forest does slow it down enough. Hits the artillery, hits the bike there. Battlecopter hits the bike, not the other battlecopter. Fire only pushes way partially forward, does not end his turn on top of the temporary airport. Does not provide any defense bonuses to air units. I could have sworn in previous Advanced Wars airports provide defense bonuses to air units, but that's simply not the case anymore. Tank, tank, tank. Takes out a bike there. Battlecopter hits battlecopter, but will be sacking itself to hit the... to lose itself to the anti-air. Anti-air, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. and those use the anti-air to take out the artillery instead. I suppose having the battle to take out one more infantry unit is not a big loss. Guaranteeing to kill off the artillery means the anti-air just stays permanently in this region at full health. Battlecopters push their way forward. We do have the temporary seaport being established there, which will give him free range all over here. Got a couple shores that can cause some mobility issues, but he can simply go around. These are bridge on seas. Bike down south. Rig, medium tank. And gunboat. That was that extra one there. Seaport's been established. Gets a good shot there on the regular tank. Bombers out of range of the battleship. Got another rig on the field, eyeing to rig the game. And the fighter's just going to head straight south to contest the airfield. And this battlecopter there. The battlecopter may not be fast enough to get away from it, actually. The fighter has, what, 9 range? And it's currently 3 tiles away, and it has 6 range, so... yeah, on paper, if my offhand math is incorrect, the fighter has the battlecopter locked down. Bomber pushing forward up here. The bomber could sack himself to get a run on the battleship. But remember, Hawk can help heal up with Black Wave and Black Storm. Looks like Forsyth has about 1 turn in value on the field. 27,000 first 25,000 income. I know I sneeze. Does hit the battlecopter there. Tank hits tank. Battlecopter hits gunboat. Anti-air does take out that unit. Interrupts the capture. Battlecopter pushing forward. There's a couple anti-airs in range. Of course, there's also a rocket in punching range. The bomber could take the rocket, but he second itself to the anti-air. Does take out the medium tank there. Duster's in range the fighter, but won't go great, just okay. These number of infantry hits there, tank hits tank. Tank finish off tank. Duster hits a fighter, gets half its health, which is quite nice. So like a regular tank striking medium tank in effects. Of course, did take quite a bit of damage in retaliation. Tank, infantry, battlecopter, and medium tank. Looks like it perhaps scored just the right amount of damage to get it down to 5. Takes out the rig, loses the tank, hits the anti-air. Bomber does strike the fresh battleship. Anti-air is in range, I think. No, the anti-air is not in range thanks to this wasteland. They actually find an opening to hit that bomber. The fighter, of course, can still hit it. Black Wave summon, getting a bit of health restoration. Of course, I have to deal with the actual defense. Battleship strikes a tank there. Medium tank gets struck. hits infantry, hits anti-air. Green starting a clean sweep up here, has a lot of the infantry units nearby that start rapidly capturing all these territories. Medium tank's the only thing that can really counter it. As the dev included Hawk, I wish Lash and her huge forehead could be included. First, I just think Flak. Add Flak, who it can't be loaded in COs and does get power charged through doing damage. Gotta give your opponent some Flak. Just make Flak completely unchanged from the all the other advanced wars. In fact, instead of war tanks, he deploys out neo tanks. Make him just somehow Flak just shows up. That's where he went to during Dual Strike. He got sent to another world, followed by one of Stern's meteors. He got isekai'd. Union tank, arc battlecopter, bike, and bike. Deploys out temporary seaport over here. Bomber does not go down. It's the tank over there at the 19 energy. The fighter is down to 2 ammo, 39 fuel. But look, there's plenty of temporary airports nearby. Does strike the battleship for a slight bit of damage. Allow Flak to also blow up pipe runners. No, they can't go on super plasma. He can still blow up pipe runners. Just probably, you know, stealths is actually something a unit that could be introduced in Tiny Wars. But then again, they're not exactly well balanced. I suppose if he would add stealths into the game, missiles should have the capability of shooting out stealths while stealthed. Dusters, maybe not. Fighters, yes. Upgrade pipe runners to plasma runners and flak. How did he do that? He's not Lash, he's not a scientist. Anti-air, battlecopter, infantry, and artillery. Does finish the fighter there with the duster. Very nice. Fresh bomber advancing. Does hit the battleship here. Right now, Hawk may need to get out another fighter, maybe some dusters of his own. Maybe some missiles. Anti-air. Medium tank, bike. Got a cruiser on the field. Ready to cruise for a bruising. Cruising for a bruising. Ah, screwed that one up. Does take out the battleship there, but we'll probably see a pretty good hit there from the cruiser. Not sure how much damage to do with the nearby CO zone. Got to make sure that infantry stays close to the bomber. Let's see, or close enough. Insert 162 versus 162, so they're both extremely even. How much would this cruiser do? Still a good amount of damage. I forgot, cruiser's got actually a sizable buff. To be fair, a lot of Navy has got a sizable buff. Oh, with the CO zone, he was able to get enough firepower to one-shot it. Very nice. He also has enough for Black Wave. Made about Black Storm next turn. tank, battlecopter, tank, and bike. Two medium tanks down here. Battlecopter, tank, and bike. Oh, got another battleship. Hawk's been playing a large number of battleships. Good amount of power charging. He has a Black Storm. Use the bike to shoot the medium tank? I don't think that's a good idea. Does take out the anti-air. Right now, 27,000, 25,000 income. Hawk has a pretty good advantage now thanks to his superpower. Right now is 202 versus 93 plus his day-to-day funds, so effectively 125 to 200, which is a severe difference. 3-turn advantage. Of course, you have to fight a little bit extra firepower and global this turn, not to excuse me, all the global damage. Medium or regular tank, bike, and medium tank. Get some good shots there in the CO zone, getting some extra power charge. Sacks the battlecopter. Yeah, right now it feels like a 4 Sith is about to get knocked out of the game. Bike, and battlecopter. And does route redesign there. This is Great saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Well, I have time for one last replay tonight. I keep on trying to hit F10 like in any other RTS, but it's not an RTS. Let's see, I have 2 replays somewhat recent, one from last week, one this week. Let's see, we just did him. When he turns a little bit on the lower end. When 2 turns, more turns. I think we did him or her this time, but a little bit longer, a little bit more turns. Let's do this map. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars, These Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Small on top of the right side as the magenta Tabata. We got red 1521. Small on bottom left side as the green the Beast. We got Cerebrit Returns. When I hear Cerebrit Returns, I just think of StarCraft 1, a game I never played. Played a bit of Mass Recall, but that's about it. The Beast is, of course, a custom CO in Tiny Wars, standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 3660. All units get plus and plus in, special units which is infantry, mechs, bikes, recons, and flares get additional plus 20% offense, and special units can steal income next turn. You get both power and superpower as a pick one situation. Provide the SX global, and also get plus 2 movement range, plus 2 vision range. Or you can go straight up to rating, gives you steal the next income turn, the income of the next 3 turns immediately on any properties, including properties that are owned by yourself or who are despicably neutral. Tabitha is, of course, unchanged. The cartridge counterpart has standard boarding costs, 0 radius, 36 to 60. All you get in a CO zone, which is primarily just herself, and occasionally later on other units, plus 60, plus 60. And of course, you get a Star Meteor, which randomly targets the highest HP or funds in the enemy units. So let's get started. Top of may want to be loaded with a unit that can reliably one-shot infantry units with plus 6-bit firepower, which I think it's been a while since the last cast, so I think a tank can easily do that. Flak 2 versus Mad Miku. When I hear the term Flak 2, I think of the game FTL, if you ever played that game, where that's actually a pretty nice weapon to have. Though the Flak ones are just generally better. And Miku I don't think is in FTL in any reference. More infantry. Tabata has 4,000 funds this turn, which she cannot afford triple infantry. Maybe bike infantry or double infantry. Bike infantry. And force commit a basic. The beast has 5,000 funds, so you could go for triple infantry. Now let's go for triple infantry. Double infantry and bike. Triple infantry. And triple bike there. The beast has 10,000 monies this turn, so go for tank and double infantry. So he may load himself up with a tank in that aspect. T-copter triple infantry, was not expecting that. Another triple bike there. The beast has not put out a single bike this game, has he yet? He has 1,500 funds, so he can go like again. Once again, he can go for a tank double infantry. Double recon mech? Okay. I was not expecting that. So one of those recons is probably going to get CO'd. Tank, infantry, and bike. Tank, double infantry, and neither of those recons did get CO'd, so maybe the tank will get CO'd. Tabata does CO her tank. Has 10,000 funds, supposed to go for another tank and double infantry. Next turn, the beast will have 15,000. Which there's a lot of things to go for that, I'm not going to even give a suggestion. 15,000 could be medium tank double infantry. Bike, or not bike, T-copter again. So double T-copter, he's going to do a relay of mechs? That would be quite interesting to see. After all, he is the beast, who's more focused on infantry. He said it was Flak 2, but he's more closer to a Sammy 2. And no, not at all. Look at the beast is Sammy's cousin, twice removed. Maybe thrice removed. Battlecopter, bike, and infantry. And great, got a spam bot. Having trouble copying that name. Maybe it's has a weird symbol in there. There we go. I see what was going on. I was too busy trying to ban that spam bot. Double recon. We got a flare and T-copter now. Does CO the recon over here. Doesn't push forward towards it. The command tank is here. First spike. Ooh. I swear that company spam bot is just so annoying. And they keep on changing their text. Like, if you know this person's banned you multiple times for spamming spam bots like that, why did you continue? Anti-air, double infantry, and battlecopter. For my stream, one view is from me, one view is from my secondary computer. I help monitor streams. And third view of actual somebody legitimate. Hello, third persons who actually somebody legitimate. Granted, that's on the Twitch side. I'm not sure you're talking about the YouTube side. YouTube side, I have, let's see, one counter says 5, the other counter says 4. Which I think one is, of course, for myself. People who are streaming actually legitimately 0 viewers means they don't even have their own stream pulled up on another monitor screen. Which is somewhat surprising, honestly. You would imagine even you have your own stream just to keep monitoring. Mech does get a good strike there onto Tabo's tank, but of course it's a Tabo tank, so it has a lot of extra firepower and defense. Tabo's at 17 energy. Puts multiple rounds on battlecopter. Don't think that's a great idea, but does throw away power charge. Prevent Tabo from getting more power charge easily. She still needs at least basically 2 kills in order to get +1 CO zone. Takes out the mech there. Battlecopter strikes directly infantry in there. Does spot the recon. Which the 7 level tank may be able to take it out. It's on 3 defense stars, so I guess not. She has 25 energy, which means half a kill, then she'll get +1 CO zone. Sorry, I'm not sure what, I think that's a little bit broken. I can't really understand that helmet. Looks like the CO zone here, or the beast has resealed into a battlecopter. Hits the infantry unit there, hits the infantry unit again, interrupts the capture. Artillery advances. Maybe we're gonna try to convince the person trying to do a drone capture, but won't go too great. Even what he sees right now won't go too great. Anti-air. Tank and recon. Thus we're heading down south. gets trapped there. Does not take a shot there to get +1 CO zone. Once she gets +1 CO zone, she becomes from a assassin or duelist into a wall break. But of course, getting 2 health recovery is a good idea. Plus, she can always get a power charge by attacking into something. And then the 2 CO zones next to that, say, potential wall, will result in immediately a wall help establish a wall break. Help break the 4th wall. Medium tank, anti-air, and regular tank. Does move something. I thought I heard. Oh, it was this infantry unit capturing that city there. The Beast right now is at currently 10 energy. Tabata might be able to do a bit of a wall break now. Easy drive forward, pick off a single infantry there will help arrange the anti-air, and of course help, well, not necessarily arrange the anti-air, but also allows this infantry unit to receive some bonus damage there, then perhaps finish off from here, then can reach the artillery. The problem is she only has this one tank, and that's herself, so might have a bit of trouble there. She may need to get some more tanks up here before she can actually do that. Because now thinking about it, she's lacking the lethality department. We have a medium tank in reserve. Duster gets a great shot on the T-copter. Gets trapped and gets shot up. Tank. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. And here does take out the infantry unit there. Palpatine is at full health at the moment. Does got some good damage on the tanks down south. Hits some of these outlying infantry units there. Duster hits the battlecopter while spawning the anti-air and artillery. Problem is, nothing to strike the anti-air. Does get some good shots there. Palpatine would not be pushing forward just yet. T-copter down 38 fuel, as well as 3% health. Infantry, anti-air, recon, and duster. Interrupts the capture. Good strike there. The Beast now has +1 CO zone. I don't think he'll get a superpower this turn. Not to mention all of his units already moved, so it would be a good idea. He does get enough power to deploy out superpower, just simply should not do it. The Beast is making great progress up north. Tabata has 2 tanks to push forward. No anti-air really left either. Goes down south. Good kills down south. Artillery's in range. Battlecopter. Anti-air tank. And commits a base skip. Does strike the bike there. And do now the full superpower there. So we got the full raid. 2 properties. Does get trapped there. Okay, so the bike there, tank hits tank. Oh, some of that's. Oh wait, the quarter C ports have not been captured, have they? Randy already had 2 T-copters for quite some time. Center attention. Yep. Let's see. Right now he does have 38,000 monies. Go for another bomber. Any lot of pro turns there. Has 21,000 remaining. Gets another bomber, infantry, and medium tank. Got some good strikes there. Capita does have now +1 CO zone. Does range the artillery that's currently hidden. Duster does strike the bomber, doing 9% damage. Remember, aircraft cannot hide in forests. If it does, it's probably crashing the ground and burning. Another duster by Tabata. Anti-air bike and bike. Does nuke that bike, getting nice easy 10 energy. T-copter, let's see, has 14 fuel remaining. More raiding there. Of course, that may have been a triple raid either way. And right now, the Beast and Tabata has similar value in the field, which means Tabata does have at least a full turn advantage, if not greater. Does spot the artillery. Tabata's pushing forward. Does take out recon there. 44 energy. Of course, she's in range of a couple bombers. No CO zone power attack there. Duster, infantry, and tank. It's the anti-air, takes out the anti-air. Duster somewhat in range, hits a regular tank there. Bomber strikes a command tank. And does take out Tabata's command tank. Nice little pick there. She got pretty close to a superpower. She could seal into a Duster. And I remember, if anything, the campaign Tabata Duster is really powerful. To be fair, anything the Tabata gets loaded up into, she's going to be very good at. So either Duster or tank. I have tended to say go for Duster. Got good number of battlecopters, and none of them should still be very good strafing infantry units. It's the bomber there. Takes another tank. Medium tank hits the anti-air. Duster hits bomber. Hits the tank there. Does seal the Duster there. Hits the bomber again. And actually does have a pretty big sortie of Dusters. 3 full health Dusters, 1 2 health. 2 out of 1 might as well just merge into another Duster as it starts needing ammo or fuel. Like Bike and Antier. Instead of 174 was 100,000, so about 3 turns behind. Somehow just now dropped my infantry unit up north, even though he had 2 T-Coppers very early on. Does get a superpower, and this is superpower. It is a rating 1. He is sacking his own properties to get money. He's trying to get as much on the field. Does steal some from his opponent there. Duster, Antier, Tank, and Infantry, keeping 11,000 in the bank. Maybe at this point in time she should have gone for a full fighter. Maybe he wants to go for a sortie of Dusters for his own. Thou dusted. The T-Copter must be playing dry now. Let's see. Yeah, 0. Let's just say these Dusters are going to be done and dusting. Bomber, bike. Capital right now does have 31,000 income, and the Beast has 15. T-Copper does fall out of the sky. And the Beast decides to outright sign there. Not big surprise. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As I mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.